All right. Good evening. Good evening, champions. Happy Sunday. Last Sunday before our event Amplify in Greece. I know that some people are already on their way to Greece, and some of us are coming this week. Who's excited for Greece, by the way? I know this Fun Friday just got announced. Actually, you know what? Let me share the details with you guys since we're preparing for Greece. I think, let me share, because everybody's been asking me about this as well. Fun Friday. I swear there's some people that I think just come for the Fun Friday and the parties before and afterwards. Can guess what personality types those are that come for the parties? Hang on 1 second. Give me 1 second here. Should be able to share. Yep. All right, that should be up. Here we go. Okay, so Fun Friday is happening obviously on Friday. This is going to be epic, by the way. This is a big boat that fits about 100 people. So I do feel that's going to sell out because there's about 55 people on the escape. And for all the people on the escape, this is included for you. So if you're going to be on the escape, you don't need to book this. We changed the Meteora tour activity to have this instead for you guys. Meteora's a phenomenal activity, by the way. It's a phenomenal destination. The only challenge is that you need about 5 hours traveling time each way. So after a lot of discussion, we figured that it would actually be much safer. So that way everybody's not exhausted on Saturday to do a boat. I know how much you guys love boats. So we're going to have a DJ on board. We're going to have some canapes, soft drinks, wine. There's going to be a couple of stops included as well. One of the stops that we're going to be going to will have different restaurants as well. So if you want to get something extra to it, because it's a full 6 hours, we'll start from 10 a.m. We'll come back about 4 or 5 p.m. So it's a full day. Now, if you're staying on the escape, you don't need to do anything. Just literally bring your swimsuit, your towel, your sunscreen. Of course, that applies for everybody. But if you're staying on the escape, there's going to be transportation to and from the hotel to go to this destination. If you're not on the escape, the address, it's at the harbor of Ormos Panayas, okay? Catch a taxi, get a group of you guys, get a minivan. It's going to be fun. And that way you can literally come with the taxi. It's probably going to cost you like 10 euros each way. You know, taxis are not expensive in Thessaloniki. A lot of people message me going, can we bring friends along if they're not members? Absolutely. The Fun Friday is also a great recruiting tool. The same way that the escapes are a great recruiting tool if you do them the right way. There's a right way and a wrong way to do that. We'll address that at a later stage. But with the Fun Friday, it's a great recruiting tool because it gives people the opportunity in order to experience our culture, our unique culture. And sometimes you get people saying that they're not open to something like this. Then they come to one of our parties and all of a sudden they want to know more. So if you know people in Thessaloniki, don't drag them off the street. If you actually know people, you have friends in Thessaloniki, definitely invite them and bring them with you. So that's with regards to Fun Friday. Today's training, here's what we're going to be covering. I want to do a session with you guys where basically I want to talk to you about how to maximize these events for massive explosion in your business. It took me a little while to learn this, and that's why I wanted to share this with you guys. I knew that for me personally, when I went to my first event, the light bulb just went on, and I literally, before I even left the event, I was calling people, I was getting people signed up before I even left the event when I went to my first event. So I kind of expected that the impact that it had on me, that magically it would have it on everybody. So when I started bringing people to events, like, in my first 12 months, in my first few months especially, I just kind of expected to just, all right, I've done my job, brought them to the event. Now you guys just go. Okay. Like that was my mindset. Okay, I've done my job. Oh, look at you guys. Annika and the amazing extended family she's got. You guys are in Greece already, right? Oh, amazing. Guys, I gotta give it up for Annika. Honestly, this woman is so strong at building community. She hasn't just built a team, she built a family with her team, and it's so awesome to see. Can't wait to see you guys very, very soon. So back to the training. So essentially, I kind of expected the same thing for everybody. So what I wasn't doing is I wasn't doing the preparation going into the event. And I'm going to give you guys basically 3 or 4 key steps to do with your team. It's what you do with your team before the event, what you do with your team during the event, and what you do with your team after the event in order to maximize the impact of the events. Okay, so leading up to the event, if there's an escape like there is, get on it. Okay, I know a lot of you guys, I'm preaching to some of you guys that I'm like preaching to the choir. Okay, but essentially our product is also travel and experiences. So your team is watching what you're actually doing. And not only that, the people that you have shown Viago to, they're also watching your social media. They're watching your Facebook. So you basically going on a trip, since you're going to be in Greece, for example, anyway, and we've got an amazing escape happening in Hakidiki this week. Then by going to the trip, taking pictures, right? Post them on social media, sharing them. Now, you don't want to be spammy, okay? A picture paints 1,000 words, so you don't have to. That means you don't need to, for example, I sometimes see people going, hey, I'm going to Greece on this amazing escape that my company put together. It's going to be 7 days, 5 nights, and I've only paid this. Oh my God, right? It's too much. It sounds like a really bad advert. You don't need to do that. It might be something along the lines of, I am so excited to Greece and reunite with my extended family, for example, or my amazing, fun-loving friends. Stay tuned for more pics. And it might be just like you boarding the plane to go to Greece. Then you get to Greece, maybe some pictures of, having fun with lots of people. You don't need to tell people you're having fun with people when you post a picture of you having fun, and let the pictures do the talking. Okay. Now, if you have some people that were meant to come on the trip with you, whether it was the event or an escape, me personally, here's what I used to do quite a lot. Okay. I'm not as active on social media now. You guys probably realize this. I'm going to get back active again soon, but I haven't been active on social media for a couple of years. So anyway, when I get active, you'll know about it. Don't worry. Now, what I would do is I would send a message or a picture to the people that were meant to come with me. And I don't want to make them feel bad. I would just send them a really nice picture going, hey, sitting here on the beach, enjoying a cocktail and wishing you were here with us. Now, you're doing that for 2 reasons. Number one, you're making someone feel special because you're thinking of them, right? And you say it in a nice way, by the way. Hey, you should have done more to be here with us. That's not going to help anybody, okay? But it's like, hey, just sitting here enjoying a nice cocktail and just wishing you were here with us. Nice and simple. The second thing that's going to do, because now you privately message them, That's going to push the algorithm. So all the pictures, all the videos you're going to be posting on this trip, they're going to be right up there on their newsfeed. Okay, so now you're becoming top of mind. Literally, guys, this one thing had so many people. Like, I would go on a trip, I would go on a training, I'd be doing this, I'd message, 15, 20 people that I talked to them about coming on the trip with me and they couldn't make it for whatever reason. I would send them a private message with a picture. Now I'm all over their newsfeed. They feel kind of obliged in order to like, at least, because I've just sent them a private message. Pushes the algorithm, pushes my visibility, increases the engagement on my Facebook or on my social media, and it makes other people curious as well. So that's in terms of like before the trip or when you get on the trip. Now, at the same time, while you're on the trip, while you're speaking to your team members, it's very important in order to sit down with your team and have a conversation with them about what they want to gain from this event. What do you want to gain from being here at this event? What was the reason that made you say, yes, I'm coming to this event? How do you want your life to be after this event? Because essentially, sometimes our life is designed around our expectations. If we expect something to have an impact on us, it's more likely to impact us rather than if we just go in there completely blank, not knowing what to expect. The second thing is that if we have a level of expectation when we get to the event, if we have a goal when we get to the event of what we want to achieve from that event, then we're more likely to be a lot more engaged, pay more attention. And guys, it's the same thing as we say to people, is that when you join Viago, you get what you expect, right? If you expect to win, chances are you're going to win. If you don't expect to win, it's very unlikely that you're going to win. And how you drive this vehicle determines the result that you get. So the same way, how you treat the events determines the impact that it's going to make on you. So going with that expectation, what do I want to gain from this event? Why am I here? Right? Write 2 or 3 things that you want to gain from this event before you go into it, and do the same thing with your team as well. Right? I don't know if you guys can hear that, but I think there's a rally going on right now, a car rally, and it's quite loud. Anyway, so, take a little bit of time and do that. And this is not just for this event, by the way, guys. These steps that I'm giving you is steps that you should take before every event. The second thing is as well, is when you're inviting people to this event, give me a second, guys. Sorry, it was very, very loud. When you're inviting people to this event, whatever event it is, invite them with purpose. Like, I invite them with like this event. You guys know that I speak about these events all the time, and I always edify the main trainers. But the one thing that I always address to people when I'm promoting an event is what's in it for them. That's what people want to know. How is this event going to impact their life? And the way that I do that is I share stories. I share stories of, what has happened to different people by plugging into this event. Actually, an amazing story is Chongi and Imola. Chongi and Imola, I've been watching these guys never miss an event ever since I've met them. And every single event that they're coming to, they're systematically showing up. I see them leading their team with doing the little get-togethers before the event, having lunches together with the team, which is another thing that I'm going to address in a little bit. And because each and every single event that they're coming to, they're taking notes, they're growing, they're volunteering. This couple has changed and grown so much over the last few years. And as you guys know, they just hit Sapphire about a month and a half ago, so they're going to be walking the stage. Now, Chongi, if you don't know his story, he started network marketing when he was 17, right? And now this kid, because he is a kid, and I would say that to his face, I know he's translating and always selflessly helping everybody, but he's in his early 20s and he's living a life right now that most people would dream about. To be able to pick up and have the freedom to move to Cyprus and, you know, essentially be able to, I don't know how many countries, Chongi and Imola, you guys have been to in the last few years, but just the number of trips that they have done. I know they're planning a trip to the Philippines later on this year. They were in Mexico. These are once in a lifetime trips that they're doing every single year and sometimes twice a year. Now, I'm sharing their story right now to you guys, but at the same time, this is how I would share their story to somebody new that was coming to an event. Because essentially, like we've got a couple of young guys coming to the event. They're also in their early 20s from Thessaloniki, and this is their first event. One guy just signed up 2 days ago, and the other guy signed up 2 months ago. And this is the story that I shared with them, because what I said to them is, if these guys can do it, what can you achieve? Because when people come to an event believing that there's something special that can impact them, it's going to impact them in that same way. So I'm sharing these stories, I'm helping them in order to open up their mindset, and I'm getting them to write down a couple of goals on what they want to gain from the event. So this is all the stuff happening, you know, before the event. Go on an escape, plug into the Fun Friday, do all the fun stuff, post it on social media, and then have conversations with your team about what they want to gain from the event. Right? That's before the event, right? Now, during the event is your opportunity in order to gain as much social proof as you need, not just for you, but also for back home. So social proof, I mean, like the testimonials. For example, you know, we're going to have a lot of people walking the stage at this event. I know a few of them are already traveling. Had so many people from just rank up over the last few months, particularly from Africa. It's the African team is growing like crazy. I know there's a lot of them missing right now. There's they're definitely going to be watching the replay of this, but check this out, guys. Literally one of the main internet providers in all of Zimbabwe, their internet went down today. You guys know every single Sunday, we get minimum 100 to 120, sometimes 150 people on this call. But literally, the majority of Zimbabwe right now is offline. Think about that. Think about what it's like, just little things that we take for granted sometimes, like having Wi-Fi all the time, okay, having electricity all the time, because they get power cuts all the time. You know, these are things that for us, it's not really an obstacle, but for a lot of people in different countries, they're obstacles. And I can tell you some amazing stories, which I'm sure you're going to hear at some point. And these are the reasons that I love network marketing. It's because of these stories that are being created. Now, when you're watching the testimonials at this event, take videos on your phone of these stories. You want to build up a library of all these different stories, young, old, professional, retirees, entrepreneurs, employees. The more stories that you have on your phone, that when you're presenting to someone, and let's say you're presenting to someone that's an accountant, Helen Mandishona is going to be sharing her story as a new Emerald. Okay. Now, Helen Mandishona could not be at the last event. So this is her first Viago event. And she's hit 5 ranks since she joined Viago. So I would be video recording her testimonial. And if you're sitting down with someone that's a lawyer, an accountant, a professional, I'd be like, hey, because sometimes people judge the message based on the messenger. Okay, maybe they see us, and like in my case, I've been working in sales and marketing for like 30 years. And they go, I can't speak like you, I can't sell like you. And because I'm used to doing things like these, they can't relate to me. So if I'm sitting there and I've got on my phone a video of Helen sharing her story, going, hey, listen, you don't have to be a salesperson. You don't have to be an excellent communicator to build this business. I have known this lady since she was one of the most shy people walking into a room and wouldn't say boo to a fly. And I've seen this lady transform because of the personal development events, because of the growth that she's been through. And her profession, she wasn't in sales or marketing. She was an accountant by profession. In fact, watch her story. And I will press play on my phone and get them to watch the story of this lady that is more related to their background than what mine is. This is how you take the social proof from the trainings and leverage it in order to grow your business. Because why do people join, guys? People join because they see value in what you're offering, and because they believe that what if they can do it too? What if they can also build a life like this? And the best way to build that belief is through stories. So during those events, take videos of the testimonials. Better yet as well, afterwards, don't just take the video, go take a picture with all the leaders. So take a picture with Matt Morris, and then see if you, actually, this is a great idea, is to get a story of Matt Morris sharing his story on video. The unemployed millionaire, the guy that went from living in his car to making over $20 million in this industry. And when you're sitting there and you're edifying someone like Matt Morris, you're expanding their mind, because most people, like hearing the story that Matt has been able to create, seems so out of this world for them. And watching it on video is one thing, but when you turn around and say, hey, listen, there's a picture of me and Matt in Greece. Now you've taken the celebrity from on stage and you made it real and approachable and achievable. Do you see what I mean? So that's how you take the events and you take these stories as testimonials. Now, the other thing that you want to be doing is during the events, go have a team lunch. Even if your team is like 2 people, find another team that you can go have lunch with. Now, I always tell people this, be careful who you spend time with. If you're spending time with complainers, you're going to become a complainer. And if you're spending time with positive people, you might catch some positivity as well, okay? So be careful who you spend time with. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, as much as I love our community, maybe not every single person in our community is positive, like-minded like the rest of us. If you come across them, walk away and hang out with the positive ones, okay? Just a little piece of advice. Right? Go have some lunch, create some friendships with some people, right? You don't have to just basically get your upline to do all your closing. That means, your leader, if they're so busy, if they're less accessible, because maybe they're in a different country, maybe they got a crazy schedule. You can also get someone from your sideline. That means from a different team that, has got a story, exchange details and help each other. Okay, so that's in terms of during the events. Now, here comes the icing on the cake. What do you do when the event finishes? Okay, I love getting people together in small teams after the event finishes and have a game plan with them. Just sit down literally for 15, 20 minutes after the event and go, man, like, what was your biggest thing that you got from this event? What was your favorite thing? Get it out of them, because most people, guys, they're so busy existing, but they're not fully present in what's really happening. So I asked them, what did you gain from it? What was the part that made the biggest impact to you? Here's the magic question. What commitment are you willing to make coming out of this event? This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where you take this event and the value that it gave to them and you put it into action to help them generate results. Your week coming out of the event is so crucial. I was not doing this part, guys, and this is where I was literally missing out on sales in my team. I was missing out on new ranks in my team because I was coming out of the event and I was going back into my action mode, which I was always doing, but I expected everybody else to do the same. But remember, in network marketing, you got to drive your team. Don't just expect them to drive themselves. Some of them will do, those are the leaders, but that's a 10%. A lot of them, you're going to need to basically kind of lead them into that activity. So I sit down with them and I go, okay, what's your commitment coming out of this event? Now, very, very, very important. Each event, we're going to announce the next event. This happens at every single event. When the call to action happens for the next event, it's not a toilet break. This is the time to go and see all your team members that are sitting in the room and have these conversations and get them to commit to the next event before they leave. Guys, you never leave the place of decision without making a decision. Whether that means helping them to join if they haven't joined, whether that means getting them to commit to that next event. Because if they commit to the next event, then the next conversation of what are you willing to commit coming out of this event now becomes so much easier. Because let's say, for example, I'm sitting down with Lisa and I said to Lisa, and I got Lisa booked for the next event. And Lisa's excited. I go, Lisa, now you're already booked for the next event. Congratulations. I'm proud of you for taking the decision to take your life to the next level. Now, coming out of this event, let me ask you something. The next event we're going to go to, do you want to be watching the event or do you want to be up on stage getting recognized for the new rank that you have achieved? Now, some people haven't even thought about it. But at that point, a lot of people will go, I want to get recognized for the next rank. Great. What rank do you want to get recognized for? Do you want to walk the stage as a new bronze, as a new silver, as a new gold? So now I'm getting them to commit to what they're going to achieve by the next event. Now, the next event is going to be around beginning of October, okay? But October, like June to October, is 4 months. It's a big gap. Sometimes people's motivation will last a month, a week. Some of them will last for 24 to 48 hours. Okay, so you gotta have the goal, but you also gotta have a short-term goal with them. So what are we gonna do these next 7 days? This is our goal here, but the next 7 days, what are we gonna do? Now, me personally, guys, I always like to stretch people a little bit more. So I like to have 2 goals. Number 1 is a goal of what they want to achieve, but I also know sometimes we can't fully control that. But number 2, and more importantly, is a goal about what activity they're going to commit to. Because I can't control if they show 10 and they sign up 4, or they show 10 and they sign up 6. I can't control that sometimes. I can control it a little bit, for sure. But there's so many factors that come into play. But if we focus on the activity, like how many presentations are you going to commit to this week? Now, Anything less than 7 presentations in 1 week coming out of an event, you're not even playing. You guys know this. I keep repeating this. One a day is sort of like the minimum for you to grow your business. If you're doing anything less than one a day, guys, you're just not playing to win. You're playing, but you're not playing to win. You don't have the odds in your favor. Now, you might just be enjoying the journey and loving the community, enjoying the trips, and that's amazing. If that's all you want from Viago, enjoy it. I'm not the person that's going to sit there and tell you, you have to do this, because it's not about me. It's not about what I'm telling you. It's what about you, what you want to get out of this, right? If all you want to do is enjoy the escapes, enjoy the community, have some fun, show some people along the way, great. If you're achieving that, you're winning. But if you join Viago because you want to make more money, you want to change your life, you want to buy your time back, you want to make an impact, then you just got to basically follow the formula to win. So coming out of the event, anything less than 7 presentations, it's not even playing. Ideally, you want to get them to commit to at least 10 to 20 presentations in that week coming out of it. Because here's what's going to happen, by the way, guys. The energy, the enthusiasm, the excitement coming out of the event, their conversion ratio is going to be higher than going into the event every single time. Let me tell you a quick story before we wrap up. I remember one of the first people that I enrolled into my team many, many, many years ago. Like, he was literally one of my good friends, worked in a bar, amazing guy. He was the kind of guy that everybody knew and loved. What I didn't realize at the time, he didn't have a lot of credibility with his network. So he was inviting people that weren't showing up, inviting people that would show up, leave halfway through the presentation. And he literally showed something like 100 people and had 0 signups, like 0. And he was about to quit. And I said to him, what was the main reason that you joined? He goes, I want to make some money. And I said, great. Have you made any money? He's like, no. I said, what was the other reason that you joined? He goes, I want to travel. I said, okay, have you traveled? He's like, no. And I said, well, if you haven't traveled, if you haven't done the business to make some money, you haven't even joined, right? So there was a training that was happening literally a couple of weeks afterwards, and he had a trip beforehand and the training. And I said, listen, because we've been friends for many, many years. I said, just trust me, come to this training. It was his first training, and come to this trip. If you still want to give up after this event and after this trip, I'll cover your expenses for the trip. So worst case scenario, you have a free holiday, I tell him. But what if this training makes the impact in your life that you need? Here's what happened. He came to the training, he came on the trip, had an amazing time. More importantly, he came to the training, and on Sunday night, on his way home from the training, he called 20 people. 2 people, he had about 10 guests to the presentation the next day, but 2 of them joined the next day. There's a few that joined, but these 2 were really, really key. Those 2 that joined in the next 90 days put in close to 800 people in his team. Now, those 2 people he had invited many, 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 many times, and they weren't showing up. And I pulled them aside and I just said, just out of curiosity, I know my friend T, he invited you many times. What was the thing that made you come to see it tonight? And they both said exactly the same thing. They're like, look, every time he invited us, we just thought, okay, he's doing one of those things. I'm not interested. I don't care. But that night he invited us, I've never in my life, in the years that I've known him, ever heard him so enthusiastic and so excited. I thought, just out of curiosity, I have to go and see what he's so excited about. That was the power of the training, right? Now, literally through that guy, a few years later, was actually someone joined my team, And my team expanded to Lithuania and Ukraine, and several thousands of people joined. And it came all through this guy that was this close to quitting back when he got started. So this is the power of the events, guys. One event can literally change the direction of someone's life. But you got to get them to the event. And the thing is, you also got to get them to come in with an expectation and finish the event and have a game plan coming out of it. Bomba? So I'm excited to see all of you guys this week. We'll see you at the Fun Friday. Get ready for an amazing weekend, guys. I hope you took some notes on this. Please take these steps, put them into action. And I'm telling you that this event that is happening in Thessaloniki is going to be a completely transformational event. If you're going with the expectation that it's going to impact your life in a big way, and you take the action that you need to afterwards, I promise you the next 90 days is going to be something wild. Love you guys. Have an amazing week. See you in Greece.